Hey everyone, what's going on? It's your boy Krebsy Crypto, and for today's video, we're just going to be talking about the Ergo hard fork. So the Ergo miners approved EIP 37, which just has allowed the difficulty to finally adjust with the Ergo algorithm, because after the Ethereum proof of stake switch and like the merge happened, a lot of miners did switch over to Ergo, which caused a huge influx of difficulty and hash rate going over to the network, and it caused the actual difficulty to get stuck per se at the highest point. So it got stuck for a while and they couldn't find a block. So you had to find blocks like time after time in order for the difficulty to adjust. So once, some miners left the network, the difficulty stayed really high. So there wasn't enough miners on the actual network for it to actually have an effect to find blocks and actually adjust the difficulty to the proper hash rate and with the amount of miners that actually were on there. So with the difficulty being very high and very little miners, it was very hard for anybody to find any blocks, if any at all. So nothing could adjust and nothing could regulate. But we're just going to go over this article talking about that and showing you that this new hard fork did fix it. I know I'm kind of late on this news, as it did happen between October 3rd and 4th, but I must have missed the article and I just came across it now, and I figured to make a video on it in case some of you guys were mining Ergo and noticed that like you weren't getting any profits, or like I shouldn't say profits, but getting anything from it because blocks weren't being found and such. But now it's actually working in the sense of like the difficulty's down and you're actually able to mine and find blocks and actually able to sit there and actually get some Ergo instead of just being stuck at this high difficulty. But we're just going to go over this article very quickly here and just to take a look at things and see where Ergo's at this point. So Ergo miners have approved adjusting its difficulty adjustment algorithm, EIP 37. Consequently, the chain has a hard fork at a block height of 844,673, and this just recently happened, as you see in the image here. They had a whole voting and everything, of course, because when it comes to mining, the people that run the nodes and miners are allowed to vote when hard forks do happen. So as you see, there was 250 people that voted yes and 6 people that voted no. I'm not sure why you would vote no in this situation, especially when your project is stuck at a high difficulty and things weren't able to go forth with the project unless this was actually done. So I'm glad to see that they approved it and things are actually going forward with Ergo and the difficulty issue they were having. So Ergo miners have passed EIP 37 and the hard fork has taken place at block height 844,673. And the hard fork seems to have taken effect immediately as Ergo's hash rate dropped significantly. So as we see on here on 2miners.com, because this is where majority of the network hash rate is, as I always say though, it's good to spread it out. So if you are wanting to mine Ergo, I suggest using something other than 2miners, because over like 46% of the network hash rate is on 2miners.com. But as you see, when the hard fork did happen around October 3rd, at 9 a.m. I think that was. I'm not sure if that was Eastern time, Pacific time, or anything. But as you see, October 3rd at 9 o'clock, all of a sudden the difficulty or sorry, the hash rate dropped right off, because this is when things actually started to balance out. And since the hard fork came about, it was allowing it so people could actually go ahead and start mining Ergo properly again. And as you see here, this drop was only natural following the difficulty adjustment, which resulted in a drop of Ergo's network difficulty from 16.61 to 8.31. So as you see here on October 3rd around 9 o'clock, as you see, it fully dropped off the difficulty. It went down from 16.61 to 8.31. So it might not be a significant drop, but it was enough to actually properly adjust it, since the network has been up and down and fluctuating since the Ethereum merge, just like most networks. So it's good to see they figured this out and got it fixed, and the network approved of it so things could move forth with this project and coin. So if you are looking to go ahead and start mining Ergo again, because you may have started mining it when the difficulty was high after the Ethereum merge, and you're like, I'm not getting anywhere with this, that was because of this like block issue and the difficulty issue. They couldn't find the next block because the difficulty was stuck high and there wasn't enough miners on the network to actually move forth and get this done. So I'm glad they resulted to actually figuring out the problem internally and getting this pumped out for the miners and for the network's sake itself. So this change should offer relief to Ergo miners who have been operating at a loss in recent days. Ergo's mining difficulty saw a sharp rise during the Ethereum merge. In the space of 6 days, September 15th to 21st, Ergo's difficulty spiked from 3.42 to 21.67. So as you see on the difficulty chart here, back on September 15th, or in between the 15th and 16th, that's when things started to spike. And then on September 16th, that's when it really spiked again. And then by about the 17th, that's when it really took off to its highest point. And after it sat up there for a few days, it dropped down a little bit, just at September 26th there. And it kind of sat there being stuck. And that's where the difficulty issue did happen, because there wasn't enough miners on the network. But then as you see here, by October 3rd, it dropped right down significantly, almost back to its original standpoint. And as afterwards, once they got the hard fork out and things got fixed. So it's good to see that Ergo solved this issue. And obviously for the miner's sake as well, it might not be like a profitable mining thing, but a lot of people want to support projects, and a lot of people are mining and just saving up the coins in case things decide to run again in the near future, which I see potentially happening soon enough. Eventually we'll get out of this bear market and things will pump back up, especially once this whole Ethereum thing is fully settled, because there's been a lot of criticism on the Ethereum merge and a lot of fluctuation between all the networks. No one's really sure where to go and which projects are going to do well. But for the people that are supporting Ergo, this is good to see, so you can continue mining it and actually get rewarded for it. So zooming out over a longer period, for example, like 1 year chart as it shows here, the current difficulty for Ergo is still high, taking into account the prevailing bear market and uncertain macros. Ergo miners may still be in for tough times, and that goes for any network right now. I feel like any coin or project or any mining network is having tough times. It's not just Ergo itself, but when you have higher difficulty, it's harder to get reward because more people on the network, more people are competing for that reward. But doesn't mean your mining is not taking effect. So when you're mining, you are helping secure the network. You are still going to be rewarded, but it might just be smaller. Where if you do use a different pool other than 2 miners, when you do mine, you just make it a bigger piece of the pie because there's less people on that mining pool. So when you guys do find a block, you'll get a bigger reward in that sense. Where if you're on 2 miners, you just might be rewarded more often with a less amount because they're finding a majority of the blocks. So if we look over like a 1 period span of time here, it was at 1.83p. I'm not sure what the P stands for. I just know this is like the difficulty chart. But as you see, around September 11th is when kind of like a jump happened. And then about September 17th, like we were talking, to the 18th, it shot right as high as 21. So obviously that's like a significant jump compared to where it was. But that's what the Ethereum merge, as I said in other videos, was going to happen and have an effect. Everyone's going to jump around. The market's going to be uncertain. But then as you see, it dropped right down as of late, the difficulty for Ergo. So I'm glad to see it's about halfway back to normal. I imagine it'll drop more over time, maybe, depending on if people are going to shift more from the network. Now that the difficulty issue is fixed, people might say, okay, this is really not profitable or something I really want to do. So they might shift out of it. So we might see the difficulty drop more, because a lot of people are, again, just jumping around between project and project until they find something they're comfortable with or truly believe in. Nonetheless, though, there is joy among the Ergo mining community about the implications of EIP 37. Some of them have expressed their relief following the rediscovered profitability. So obviously it depends on your hydro rate. If you're not paying hydro, the profitability is always going to be there for any coin that you do mine because you're not paying hydro. But if you are paying like in the ballpark of 10 to 15 cents, that's when it becomes close to seeing a profit or anything of the sort. So as you see on this tweet here, congratulations Ergo at Ergo Platform Organization for a successful EIP launch. So happy to see you back in the top 4 again. And what they're relating to is the most profitable coins for the GeForce RTX 3090. Of course, as you see, the power cost is at 0 cents. So if you are not paying power, which is very far and few, I had it lucky like last year when I was living on my own and I had hydro and everything all inclusive, so I didn't have to worry about paying hydro. But now I'll be moving again, and that's going to cause me to have to pay hydro, unfortunately. But that's like the matter of fact, if you are paying 10 cents, 15 cents, you're not going to be pulling much profit right now. And some people are paying higher hydro rates, some people are paying lower. So you can always check some coin calculators and see what your profit range is depending on your hydro rate, of course. But as you see, NIM coin, I think that's NIMQ or something like that. That's your most profitable if you're not paying hydro. And that's like about 58 cent to 64 cent profitability. Ergo, it looks like to be number 2. And that's going to be 47% profitability. And then Zellhash is up there as well at 46 cents or 44 cents. And then Zhash is up there at 56 cents to 46 cents. Mind you, this was back on October 3rd, and it might not seem like a lot because today's October 10th, but things do fluctuate quite fast and quite often in the crypto market, because the crypto market does what it wants really, and it's really supported by technology and development and things like that. So if people believe in a project, you might see a little bit of a pump on a project for a day, or something happens in the news, something might pump, but nothing is really profitable because most people are paying hydro. If you are lucky, the lucky few that aren't paying hydro, then Ergo might be a good option for you to go ahead and mine. Like I said, check some coin calculators, crypto calculators, whatever, and make sure that you are in the profit. But if you just want to go ahead and mine it, of course, because you support the technology and project itself, go right ahead. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, I'm not, promoting any certain way. I'm not like a financial advisor, nothing like that. So don't listen to me. You do what you want, but that's just my take on it. So Ergo's ERG token price seems to be doing well on the daily though, registering at least an 8.1% increase over the last 24 hours. Mind you, this was back on October 3rd to 4th, so take that into note. It rose from below $2.61 to a high of $2.98 on early last Tuesday. I put in last Tuesday because this article was last week, of course. But Ergo has experienced a sharp correction since the Ethereum merge, resulting in over a 25% price drop, wiping most of the gains it had since leading up to the merge. So unfortunately, just like most projects, there's been a big price drop and profitability has gone out the window, but it's kind of been holding around that like $2 mark or higher. And it hasn't been anything crazy. Like a few years ago, or like a year or so ago, I should say, it was around like the $10 to $11 mark, and now it's dropped all the way down to like $2.50 to $3, even lower, obviously depending on like the chart and the day. Everything is so up and down right now, but unfortunately that's just the way it's going to be up until like really we're out of this bear market, and until the network kind of settles down and people just kind of take a deep breath and figure out where they want to go with all their hash rate power. I've seen a lot of people going towards like Bitcoin and things like that. The Bitcoin network has hit an all-time high for their hash rate, and with GPU prices really dropping, because I've seen a chart where like, the price of like 3090s and below have dropped like significantly, up to like 60% drop in price. So retail pricing has been a lot lower, which is really good to see, because people that want to like continue mining and supporting, they're going to be swiping up graphics cards when it comes to the situation, because who knows, by the next bear market, we could have a whole new different facility set up. You could be the next big miner yourself that's watching this video. You could have a facility set up. You could have a whole room dedicated to mining, because you could just be picking up a bunch of graphics cards and either mining through NiceHash, or you're getting paid in Bitcoin, or you're mining Ergo or Ravencoin or any of the few like I've made videos on in the past. So it's good to see the prices finally like dropping down and people aren't scalping so much. Other than the EIP 37, the Ergo community is exploring ways to make Ergo mining more friendly. One of their ideas is developing a way to incentivize miners' loyalty to the chain. Miners commit their hash power to Ergo for consecutive epochs would receive bonus rewards. So people that stick around and dedicate their, hash power and mining power to actually find blocks and stay consecutive with that are going to receive bonus rewards. I believe Flux already does this in a sense. I think there's some kind of like, if you hit a block, you get a bonus reward, or if you hit a certain amount of blocks in a row, you get a bonus reward. So it's good to see that they're incentivizing miners, because it's just going to turn around and, you're going to get more coin out of it in a sense. And these rewards would shield such miners from losses they face when other miners hop to other profitable chains, when the difficulty spikes and rewards take a dive, because you are getting a bonus reward. So instead of you just going down with the group and like you're getting less of the coin, you're still always going to have a bonus reward. So if you hit a block, or if you help stick around and stay dedicated to the network, it's gonna pay off for you, because you're gonna get bonus coins with that, with initially what you mine is what they're planning to do. But I'll probably make a follow-up video when this does decide to happen, because it's always good to see projects and coins and things innovating in this sense, giving us incentivizing miners to stay loyal to the project. It's kind of a way of saying, yeah, here's a little bonus for staying such dedicated and believing in our technology and project. But that's pretty well all I got for today's video. I kind of rambled on a little more than I expected. I was hoping this would be just like a quick skim through, but as usual, I always get rambling on and get in depth with things so you guys can fully understand the whole concept of everything. You can look into the Ergo hard fork if you want. They have it on their GitHub, I believe. and you can fully look in depth into this thing. I just want to go over this article in case you were mining Ergo or you were wanting to, but you seen the difficulty being high. This is kind of your chance to get in there because the difficulty is starting to go down and balance out since this fixed up the hard fork. But again, that's all I got for you guys today. If you did enjoy, make sure that like and subscribe button, as it lets me know you guys are enjoying this type of content. But I hope you all have an amazing day, and this is Krebsy Crypto signing out.